joining us, Brent Dewar, far side here of our panel, who is the Vice President and the Global Head of Chevrolet, President Michael Peevey of the California Public Utilities Commission, State Senator Leland Yee from San Francisco, and Mark Duvall, who is the Director of Electric Transportation at the Electric Power Research Institute, or EPRI. I'm Andrew Shapiro. I'm the founder and president of Green Order. We are a strategy and management consulting firm based in New York that works on green business issues, and we're gathered here at what I think is truly an appropriate time to discuss the future of the auto industry and how electrification will play into it. The backdrop is the Los Angeles Auto Show, but we also have events all around us today that signal the need for this enhanced dialogue. In just a week, many of the leaders of the governments of the world, as well as major companies, will be gathering in Copenhagen in Denmark to discuss climate change and the world's response to the challenge of dealing with global warming, and electric vehicles are certainly one part of that solution. So let's jump into it. And one of the things I want to say at the outset is all of the problems that relate to creating a more sustainable future really can be solved with one of four different levers: technology, policy, the allocation of capital, and changes in behavior. And the challenge of shifting to an automobile industry that's more represented by electric vehicles encompasses all of those. It has elements of technology, new investment, obviously changes in consumer behavior, and also getting the public policy environment right. So I'd like to start in that regard with President Peevey from the California Public Utilities Commission. And maybe you can tell us a little bit about how you look at the issue of vehicle electrification. Are Californians ready for EVs? And by extension, are Americans ready for EVs? And how does your work contribute to getting us to that place?
Well, I don't think anybody is ready at a massive scale for EVs this very moment that we're sitting here. But it's our job to make sure that it is, that people are very soon, and we have the infrastructure in place to do so. And our responsibility at the Public Utilities Commission, the state of California, we started an order to investigate how best to accommodate EVs into our future, because we realize, myself, my colleagues, the governor, the legislature, and others realize that to truly combat our biggest challenge, which is climate change and global warming, we're going to have to do some very dramatic things. And one of them is be very supportive of major adoption of electric vehicles, charging stations, the whole ball of wax. The challenge for us is, how do we do that in a cost-effective way? How do we do that in a meaningful way that we standardize, for example, the chargers, we standardize the whole system at home, and at office places, at factories and elsewhere, so we have a simple system that can be throughout the state. When someone leaves San Diego to come to Los Angeles, they go from one utility to another utility. From Los Angeles, they go to Northern California, they go to another utility. We want to have one standard practice for every place in the state of California. We have the ability and the authority at the Public Utilities Commission largely to do that. And we also have to take into account what are the impacts on consumers and on distribution system of electric utilities. And by that I mean that when EVs become extremely popular, and I might say we have one at our house today. My wife drives exclusively an EV. She happens to be a legislator along with Senator Yee here, in the same house, too, as the state senator, I might add. Her last name is different than mine. It's Liu, L-I-U, Carol Liu. But we have to make sure that as EVs become more popular and become more universally accepted, that it doesn't put an incredible strain on the distribution system that we have not anticipated. And what do I mean by that? And then I'll end up here. It's simply that the sale of EVs, at least in the first few years, is not going to be equally distributed amongst the population. You're more likely to get all bunch of EVs in several blocks in Beverly Hills or in Pacific Heights in San Francisco than you are equally distributed throughout Los Angeles. If everybody in a particular block decides to charge their EVs at the same time, 9 p.m. or later in the day, it puts a significant strain on the distribution system of the electric utility. That has to be something that we have to be aware of and we have to accommodate for and plan for. These are the kind of things that are the role of the Public Utilities Commission in the state of California, and that's what we're all about.
Thank you, President Peeving. We'll get further into some of those issues about making sure that our electrical grid is really prepared for the oncoming rollout of electrical vehicles. But Brent Dewar, tell us, Chevrolet is making a big bet on the Chevy Volt, which rolls out at the end of 2010. Tell us why that is. What's your vision of how the Chevrolet Volt can help to transform this industry and move the auto industry generally towards electrification, and how it relates to what you're doing at Chevrolet more broadly?
Well, I think, Andrew, I think we've believed in electric for a long time. I mean, it's one of the propulsion technologies that we think are very important. We have to, we have an energy challenge. Chevrolet being a global brand, there's an energy challenge around the world. We have to find the right propulsion systems. Electric has some benefits in a couple fronts. Obviously one, reducing dependency on petroleum products, which helps the environmental footprint, but also from a consumer standpoint, it's readily understood. Many of the technologies that we work on, propulsion technologies like hydrogen fuel cells we're excited about, or biofuels with cellulosic biofuels, as a marketer, it's more challenging to explain it. So we need to pursue all the different alternatives, but electric has some great benefits for many consumers today, and it's kind of a real breakthrough. So from our early work in electrics to what we see today, with the Volt coming here next year, it's the next generation of electric, where you can drive the vehicle. For many consumers, can drive petroleum-free for that 40-mile range, but yet can extend that range and still meet their lifestyle needs on a daily basis. But even with that benefit, we still need the infrastructure, because what we've learned in all of these propulsion technologies around the world for the 30 to 40 years we've been doing it, the consumer at the end of the day, it has to make their economic sense. It has to meet their lifestyle needs. So whether it's improving the internal combustion engine, working on biofuels, working on electric or hydrogen, we're excited to work on all those dimensions, because the needs on a global basis for energy consumption are challenging. And so we're excited about this newest generation development, and we think it's the right time. And Chevrolet's proud to be a part of that. It's a solution. It's not the right solution for all consumers, but it's the right solution for many consumers, and I think it's the time.